Welcome to this edition of You Can Get There From Here. I'm Dr. Joe Moore, Chair of the Department of Communication and Digital Media Production at the University of Central Missouri, and it is my pleasure every week to get to sit down and visit with some of our alumni, find out what they're doing these days, and find out how the program helped them get there. This week, I get to visit with Katie Cupp. Katie was a double major in communication studies and political science while she was here at the University of Central Missouri, and the Katie I remember is the Katie you're going to meet today. Always smiling, always happy, always eager to learn. Katie, great to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me. It's good to talk to you again. It's been too long.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
I know.
So what are you up to these days?
I live in Alexandria, Virginia, right outside of DC, working for Young America's Foundation. And I've been kind of jumping all over the country, to be honest. I've been in DC now for about a year and a half. So it's going good. Love it out here.
So you've been all over the country. That old Johnny Cash song, I've been everywhere. Where's your favorite place you've been?
Oh man. Okay, so right out of college, I moved to Santa Barbara, California.
Oh my
And
gosh,
that
you
was
have been everywhere.
by far the most beautiful place in the country. It's so expensive, but when I hit the lottery one day, I'm going back.
And
Yeah.
then from there you went to where?
From Santa Barbara, that was when I reconnected with my fiance now. So we met at UCM. He was in Denver. So we made a plan to move back to Missouri so we could live in the same state. And we were there for about 3 weeks. And then I got a call from Senator Cruz's team to join his campaign down in Houston. So moved from Santa Barbara pretty much straight to Houston. And then we moved from Houston to DC. And so this is where we are now.
All right. So tell us about Young America. What is the organization?
It's a nonprofit. The mission is to inspire high school and college age students with conservative ideas. So we host a lot of conferences across the country, and students really only have to pay $50 to $100. We pay cover their whole way, and bring in speakers where they can learn about history and free market principles, other things like that. So we also send speakers to college campuses. My role in the foundation is I work mainly with the supporters who come. And a huge part also of Young America's Foundation is we own and operate the Reagan Ranch, where
Okay.
President Reagan lived. And so that's why I moved out to Santa Barbara out of college, because that's where the ranch is located.
Gotcha.
And so I was working with supporters out there.
So you're a development officer now, correct? What,
Yeah.
tell me about what does that entail?
It's all donor relations. So my job is to, when I was at the ranch, a lot of people flocked to the ranch. So it was really giving them a tour and spending the whole day with them, learning what they're passionate about. And, these are people who are coming to us wanting to give and donate to the foundation. So I look at it as I'm connecting their passion with what they want to donate to, and giving them the opportunity to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you a quote that you shared with me whenever I asked you about being a part of this campaign. You said, "Cultivating strong relationships with these supporters is the most important part of my job, and my communication degree was a launching pad to improve on my communication skill set." How do communication studies help serve as a launch pad for you?
Yeah. Well, the most important thing of my whole entire job of development and donor relations is communication. It all depends on the most important thing is cultivating that relationship, getting to know them well. And so every type of communication you could think, listening, talking, remembering people's names, even something small as that, it's all important in cultivating a strong relationship.
Okay. You also mentioned the Dale Carnegie program was very impactful for you. How so?
I feel like that was almost transformative in the way that I viewed communication as a whole. up until that course, I had always looked at it as I'm communicating with these people to tell them what I think and who I am. But that course rewired my mindset. It was like, I'm here to listen and learn more about other people and respond. I don't need to talk about myself. I want to hear from them. And I felt like that completely changed everything. And after that, I was a much stronger communicator than I was before that.
All right. Well, we talk about that Dale Carnegie course. I think Dale says that the most important word in any language is I. We're always concerned about us and what our goals are. And I think you hit the nail on the head that to be a good communicator, it's not listening so you can respond, it's listening so you can understand, right?
Hmm. And what I loved about that course too is so the basis for that course is his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie's book.
Hmm.
And it just has practical steps on how to become a good communicator. I recommend that book to everybody I know.
Yeah, that's great. So, what are some of your fondest memories from your time here at the University of Central Missouri? You were one of our student ambassadors for Comp Studies when you were here, correct?
Hmm.
So what are some of
Hmm.
your fondest memories of your time here?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Um, Probably the top one would be winning Homecoming Queen. That
That's
was that
right. I
was so
forgot that.
fun. Yeah, we were paired. I was in a sorority, Alpha Omicron Pi. We were paired with Sig Tau. I don't know what their full name is, Sigma Tau Epsilon or something like that.
Something like that.
No, I don't know. Anyway, it was just so they were all great guys. We loved to get to know them. You spend a lot of time with other people, preparing for homecoming, building floats, doing all of that. And while maybe that's meaningless in the long run, you build a lot of good connections. And so that was really fun. Another one, working with David Pierce. Have you
Good
interacted
man.
with David?
Oh yeah, good man.
Oh my gosh, he's the best. He never had, so he had just come on as the government relations
Hmm.
guy at UCM, and he didn't have an intern or anything, but I was interested in politics. And so I went up to him and I said, "Do you have an intern, David?" He said, "No." And I was like, "Can I be your first intern?" And so
Way to take
that's kind of
initiative.
how, yeah, the internship started with me, and he would take me to the Capitol, and oh my gosh, so many great experiences.
Yeah, he's one that every time I see him, I say, "So, when are you going to run for governor?" And he's just like,
I know.
"Oh, I'm not gonna. I'm done with all that." So, great guy, great guy. So, what is
Yeah.
next for Katie Cup? You mentioned your fiance, so there's something like that coming along. But what's next for you?
Yes, we are getting married in 2 months. So
Congratulations.
that's in the very near future. Thank you. We're excited. Um, I don't know. We love living out here. I love my job. It's really fulfilling. I love getting to know the people that I do. I don't know. We'll probably eventually want to move back home. Missouri's a special place. Our family's there. But for job wise, I don't know. I don't like to look too far ahead because anything can happen, as I've learned through all of this.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
and I will say, having somebody like you with your personality involved in politics right now, when there's so much clash, red and blue, and all that back and forth, having young people like you who are energetic, who are positive, who just want to make the place of the country a better place, gives me a lot of hope, gives me a lot of encouragement. So thank you for all that you do. A couple final questions for you, kind of one question with two parts. What advice would you give to a current UCM student studying communication studies? And what would you say to a student who is thinking about UCM as a possible place to continue their communication studies?
Great questions. My top advice would be to get involved in everything that you can. And especially, I was explaining this to my siblings earlier. If you're a teacher, you're going to work in a school afterwards. If you're a nurse, you're going to a hospital. But for majors like communications or political science, you don't know where you're going to end up. And it's vital that you use your time in college to make connections. And you do that for or through getting involved. And so when I was in college, I got involved in student government. I worked at the Alumni Foundation. I was involved in a few other clubs too. And that was another launching pad to meeting people. And that's, how the doors open.
Okay. And then,
Second
so,
part of the
yeah, there
question.
you go.
Um, UCM, it's a great school. I think so many people get caught up on the big schools, Mizzou. Mizzou is a great school. All my friends were talking about that. But UCM has a stronger community, unlike anything I've ever seen. And I also tell other people this too about UCM is I felt like the professors really worked to help you succeed. I remember multiple instances of me going to my professors and asking for help, one thing or another, and they would drop everything and help me. So I think the community is unparalleled, really, to other schools. I think at a bigger school, or maybe different schools the same size, maybe you don't get that. But the professors, if you reach out and you're willing to meet them, they're more than willing to help you.
Well, Katie, I'm glad you said that because that's one of those things that as professors, we tell our students constantly I'm paid to be there for you all week, not just the hour that we're in class together. And I want to be there for you. I want to help you. So it's good to hear that that sticks with some and that you took that to heart. So, Katie, thanks so much for being here today. Good luck on the coming wedding, and good luck on your work with America's Youth and in DC.
Thank you so much. It was so good to see you again.
You too. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you all for being here. Thanks again to Katie Cupp for joining us today. Remember, you can catch every episode on our YouTube channel through UCM Media Network. That's youtube.com/UCMMN. You can also listen to the podcast on Spotify. Again, I'm Dr. Joe Moore, and I'm reminding you, you can get there from here. Have a great day.